But what separates the teams often at this level is just what do they bring to the table, how do they play, and what do they utilize. Skadoodle getting aggressive. We've kind of criticized Skadoodle in the past for being a somewhat dull player as the Jet, but it's not here. Skadoodle pops off and finds 3.
Seconds left.
DaZeD and AZK trying to lock down mid. Now DaZeD has gone down. That puts AZK in the pressure position. I like this smoke from TenZ, who decides to push through. AZK can't quite line up the shot. It's Skadoodle who's there to try and save the day. Now Brax is still on site, and he does deliver a dart into the belly of one of the targets trying to ascend the site. Brax coming around the corner. Will he be able to stop the play? Oh, Mitch canceled! That's actually huge. Grenades that are down that they'll have to worry about. And they're popping those swarm grenades to try and slow them down on the take, but it doesn't seem to be making too much of a difference. Spyder pops off, but Vice is there as well. We find ourselves in a 2-on-2, but now it's just down to 1. It's Brax. And unfortunately, this round seems like it's lost as Shinobi peeks his head out.
Players before he runs away, and especially now that he's forced out of position from the staircase, Brax goes for the first kill with the Frenzy. They're going with the Hunter's Fury to get rid of the ults, and they will be able to do so they could still turtle inside the A site. But still trades are happening. Spyder with a connection onto Shinobi. It's a 3 versus 2, 13 seconds left on the clock. They have to commit. The thing comes in for Skadoodle. 1 more to go. It's Spyder coming in from the B site.
And good paint shells damage as well. So now Relyks is going to go ahead and dedicate towards the plant. They're trying to get back into the site if they can. TenZ actually goes down in a battle against Spyder, who has really stepped up his game here. But there's the flank play coming in from short. This flank could be punishing.
Yeah, but they're okay for retakes too, right? The camera is already going to give one position away. They can't close the door because it's been broken. And I'm assuming that could have been done intentionally from T1 as well. Because the amount of times that Spyder has been rotating back from the catwalk, Cloud9 should be afraid of that position now. But as they're both moving towards heaven and they have a huge sandwich from Brax, Brax can actually see the cannon there out in the open, gets that first backstab onto Mitch. They got rid of the door, and now it's just Vice that's stuck in the corner.
I love that move, shutting the door and then shadow stepping away. That allows Shinobi to shut the door and plant the spike. A bit of a ballsy move, as it could have left the spike in a pretty rough position to try and get it back from. But we find ourselves at a 4-on-4 regardless. Now the dart flushes DaZeD back, blast pack in over top of the wall, and Mitch is going to pick off DaZeD as well as he comes through from the backside of that play. They weren't anticipating that, pushing through from Garden. Now the window is still in place, and Mitch kind of gets stuck on the other side of the glass looking through. So it's a 3-on-3. As the fight continues to volley back and forth, there's one in hell, and you're asking yourself, Skadoodle, can you just take that shot, please? But it's going to fall onto Spyder. He's been a hero thus far, finds one, but can't get the second.
Actually pinch in and probably surprise both players at hell. It would have been a different scenario, but Spyder is going to have different plans for himself here for the team. So does Brax. They're looking to even up the tally on this first half, 6-6. Mitch has already spotted at the sliding door. He's going to have to try to clutch a 4 versus 1. Spots the first, the double peek. That's perfect play. And AZK actually makes it 7-5.
So when they go for that take, not going to be able to dash in and take the fights early. Now Brax has picked one off with the Frenzy, but it's an immediate trade back from Relyks, who is very low on HP after that.
Yeah, but that kill shouldn't happen.
Yeah, he's sitting at around 10 health.
Brax was able to lurk into the B side, just things that Brax does, and Swag gets the kill and a backstab on Market. That opens up the B side, allows now T1 to get in there as well, but there's only 20 seconds. At least the Spike is already at that position. A face-to-face battle. It's going to be Spyder that takes the upper hand. Mitch is stuck on a 4 versus 1, and some very healthy players for T1. At the same time, setting up a perfect crossfire in. What I like, at least from T1, is despite them losing that control towards mid side, they know that there was a boom bot that was actually thrown towards market side. The owl drone came towards mid, and a paranoia came from catwalk. So they knew the position of 3 of the players.
We're down to the 35-second mark, and they still haven't made their way onto a site. They're finally starting to take control of mid, and now Mitch is in a position where he's got Skadoodle and one more around the corner, and Mitch has really slowed this down to make it that much more difficult. They're trying to get onto the site, but with 23 seconds left, they can't get into good positions. This is exactly what we said we'd be worried about, but hold on! T1 is fighting their way out of it, almost!
Which is what I like. I talked about this before. Sometimes you don't need to shoot it out. You put the cloud burst, so Mitch still comes into a surprise when he hears the door being broken, but TenZ already rotated towards the B side to get the first kill. They're looking for that trade. The turret spots him through the smoke. It's going to be the kill from AZK. A 4 versus 4, a trade-off towards mid side from Shinobi to Spyder. A 3 versus 3 now as Mitch has to come up huge inside the site.
Nice flash from AZK. You see Mitch just still blinded. Couldn't do much about it.
Spike planted.
Spike does go down. This time it's a little bit faster of a play coming in from T1, but look at that. The distance shot from Vice. He's got that rainbow arc. Able to put the shock dart straight into the belly. It's now a 2-on-2.
Revealing area.
With the position in B main, Brax is incredibly important. It's going to come down to his timing. Now that shock dart is huge, does great damage, but now Brax has to come in and save the day. If they get through into the U-Haul, they'll be able to survive a little while longer, or the boathouse. Now the spike is planted on the other side of the box, and they say that pros don't fake. Vice is going for it. He's got it close, but not today. Skadoodle, early round pickoff on Shinobi. There's the ult coming out. The Hunter's Fury is sending damage downrange from Vice, but it's actually TenZ who does the dirty work as the Blade Storm finds 2. This aggressive play from Cloud9, putting T1 quite literally up against a wall. Skadoodle somehow fights his way out of it. He's still got time to go back to the rifle, has to switch to the pistol.
Ooh.
I think Vice might have 2 HP. No, it's 1. Vice somehow barely survives. It's okay, T1 wins the round, but Skadoodle still almost had that.
Towards that B side. And now that it's weakened up, it's Skadoodle. What a nice flash, but Mitch still manages to turn 180 on time, back at it, and he was able to get a 3K before, but had a weaker weapon this time, and less bullets. It's trading off back and forth, and Cloud9 Blue are looking to fight another round. It's a 4-on-2 situation with the last 2 players for T1 spiked down on mid side.
Cover going out.
Spyder in B main, teammate Brax back towards mid. Spyder's a little bit low on HP. Not exactly an ideal scenario. He's going to try to pour it out. Yeah, Brax trying to get that spike back in mid.
While Brax makes it in, and he's going to be the one that's going to hold the angle in that main door. While then you have Brax that can run into the site and hopefully win a 1 versus 1.
It's a 4-on-4.
Get out of my way!
We'll see what C9's able to do to try to get back into the site. A fault line coming out, Hunter's Fury as well being popped. Everything they've got is sent in that direction. Ooh. There's the pulses coming out from DaZeD, and it's looking all but manageable here as T1 closes things out. But it almost doesn't mean much sometimes. These rounds are just so scrappy. Now, the dart will give away the position of 1, and the shots through the wall from DaZeD do connect.
That's huge.
And now it's this bizarre fight. We talked about it, not always the best. The shock dart's right on the money.
That's huge.
Shock dart as well. Spyder's got the flank. Cloud9 turtled up currently inside U-Haul. Here's the portal play coming out from T1 as they dash their way through and head over to B. And it's a brawl inside the portal as the shotgun only finds 1 kill for Relyks. TenZ now coming through with the Sheriff. He's got backup from Mitch. It's working. It's a scrappy game thus far, and Cloud9 steals that round.
Very nice for Cloud9 Blue to be able to retaliate and reply to the answer from T1 from the win that slipped out of their grasp. And now they're going to do the same thing in retaliation.
1 enemy remaining.
Mitch coming in with the Phoenix kill. Vice is there as well. It's down to Spyder. T1 tried to repeat the successes of Cloud9 and say, anything you can do, I can do better. Cloud9 says, well, it's a cute joke. But no. Into the shadows to put Omen up on balcony as well. You know, he does drop down, but T1's got sight control. 14 seconds left as the spike goes down. The knives from Skadoodle right on the money. He'll fly in with 1 more. Does he realize there's 1 still inside vents? Nope, AZK's got it. Suppression coming in from Cloud9. Pushing up on short. Now, it doesn't work out early, as you can see they're pretty much prepared for it, holding back. The nade comes in, but as he tries to backpedal, DaZeD peeks and punishes. I love this position from Brax as well. This is just really well read from T1, understanding what Cloud9 is going to do in this scenario. Double curveball out. The second one produces more success than the first. At distance, Mitch is able to capitalize on the Stinger's fire rate.
I have the spike.
Getting the best of Brax. AZK going back to pick up the spike. Spamming through the wall, has to be careful, but it's Skadoodle with the backup. But there's TenZ from the other side. They lost sight of short. So now TenZ is able to punish and potentially upgrade as well. Both teams have been incredibly scrappy with the pistols and the force buys. And even though Cloud9 is at a player disadvantage, They've got two players you would want in this scenario, and that's one of them. TenZ pops off and finds one more, but it's all up to Vice, and oh man, the timing. Turns his back as soon as Skadoodle peeks his head out. And now Skadoodle's got position with the op. Now Vice does go the other direction. And that's left. Awkward. Just peek and fire, peek and fire. Yeah, there you go. That actually works.
I was going to say...
How does this happen? But it looks like it's going to be a B push. Now that nade pushes him straight into the fight. But there's TenZ right around the corner with the shotgun. Now this is something we've seen Cloud9 do. They love to play off this portal in mid. That collapse play. And it works out nicely for them as well. But Mitch pops the ult, runs into mid, gets spotted in the end. That allows TenZ to upgrade. But T1 managing to regain and retain control of this B site, largely in part to how well Skadoodle is playing. That ult, so successful as the knives slice apart the defense. And now it's Shinobi, stuck in hookah, waiting for Vice to come through from spawn. We've got a player sitting in garden and two towards elbow. Shinobi's going to be spotted as he goes for the jump up. This recon dart's going to give them away as well, potentially. But Shinobi sneaks inside dark cover to hide himself from it, and it's not going to make a difference. And again, Vice. Skadoodle the first one in, but Relyks and Shinobi stomping out the initial push. AZK has tried to bring it back as he finds himself on the high ground thanks to his ult. Mitch is playing around a smoke in that position. Might be able to get the timing right onto AZK. Now, I like this move. Spyder was actually in U-Haul and ults out of it and onto the site. It's not exactly like a closed off position. He just ulted into the middle of nowhere. But it works out. Brax now has to go big. The smoke's down and they tap the spike. Fake flash out from the pistol. Doesn't matter though, T1 is there as Brax and DaZeD combine their efforts.
So far on this map on 5, but mostly because they've been pressured a lot by Cloud9 Blue on the extremities and on mid side.
Early fights favoring T1 as shower control was the name of the game, but T1 delivers with some Drano to try and eliminate the blockage. Now that's an aid.
You hate it.
The arc on that nade is awkward, but Relyks goes for a lot of utility expenditure, and he's somehow still fighting and finding kills. He's got Spike down, but he's in...
On the other side, but it's actually being played super far back with Vice moving forward. But AZK, a nice first kill. They're trying to go for a big off a curveball. They're actually taking advantage of it. DaZeD gets the second one, and just like that, it's a 2 versus 1. Can Vice actually clutch it one more time?
30 seconds
The spike
left.
is down. He's covering it. There's 30 seconds, so much time on the clock. And the Owl Drone's going to be huge.
See how they kick things off. You can see them moving into position. There's a smoke down on a blaze wall. Mitch gets tagged up and dropped pretty low on HP, so he has to waste hot hands. And a pistol round that's actually incredibly important now. He can tag into his blaze wall as well to get some additional healing, but there's Brax to greet him with the classic burst. Skadoodle and Spyder elsewhere on the map with headshots from their classics. And Cloud9, what have they got out of this? They got B site control. So there will be a spike plant. There is at least that. Shinobi will go ahead and secure that after taking the dart out. TenZ has gotten into position here and just barely escapes around the corner. But this is not a position he can really get more than one kill from. You can see he's in this position, but he's got some backup. They might have a chance now. How is this coming together? Cloud9 finds themselves in a one-on-one as TenZ has the classic. The heal comes in as well. The burst coming out, but no, Spyder shuts it down. That should not have happened, but it almost did.
It's to rotate. Big showstopper to come through. Can they get the opening? It's going to be the paint shell still that gets the frag, but they're looking for the other chase. They're looking for the frag. It's still Skadoodle. He drops the spike. It's traded out. It's a 4 versus 3. They're jumping outside of hookah too, and C9 stays alive on this offensive. TenZ with a second kill, leaving only 1 to go. It's going to be DaZeD with the Sheriff. Looking back here as I correct myself, not a Sentinel as an initiator. Looking back with the wall bang onto Mitch. 3 versus 1 now. Paint shells onto the ground. Spike has been planted. He just wants to hurt the economy, and like I said,
Does do a little bit of scratch damage to Brax, who's waiting with the shotgun yet again. TenZ starts to move into position. AZK, the wide swing. Brax is there as well. DaZeD chiming in with the ult. This is not exactly how you want things to go if you're Cloud9. The buy is scraped together by T1. But they've still found themselves in an advantageous position. Now, Mitch gets the easy kill onto AZK. There's an ult coming out from the attacking side. Good luck getting away from that one. Vice has that pretty much dialed in on Spyder.
One enemy remaining.
Mitch backside of sight, and they've managed to
30
bring things
seconds
back
left.
to a much more manageable, and honestly, likely
Spike
scenario.
planted.
They've got the sniper.
They're not looking at
OHB
him.
coming through from showers.
remaining.
If Brax took his time, I was wondering if he was going to be patient with that one. There's a curveball coming out. It's all going to come down to this. It's a 1v1. It's Mitch as Phoenix, Brax as Cypher, and Mitch,
You're dead.
he's going to pop his ult. I like the move. Getting
Yeah.
back into U-Haul as well because it gives him the escapability. But Brax is actually playing this incredibly patient. He has to go for that. That means Brax now has a window of opportunity to actually get out onto the site. He's going to tap the spike and try and get it to
no.
halfway. Does he have it? No. Spawn and showers, they know they're not coming from short. Skadoodle's got a great position here to potentially find one over top of this awning. The Lear comes out though, and that's TenZ finding one more kill. They're gonna try and stick the plant. Relyks with the rocket and a follow-up as well. Somehow plays for Mitch where he's the only one on the site. So they've actually pushed through from short, and they're gonna get a backstab kill on device. That's Skadoodle who was holding it down. So Mitch is gonna have to go through the portal and try and fight back, but that Spyder already coming through from hookah. Everything is falling apart, and it's all onto Relyks. This is just really well read by T1.
Trying to split into B, but look how aggressive T1 is on their end. And they get the first kill onto Vice. They're double peeking now after, but they do not spot a second kill from Spyder. That now puts Cloud9 Blue pushing inside the site. A recon dart doesn't spawn anybody yet. A showstopper, they're trying to clear out the site too. It's gonna have to be the retake game for the defenders, but Skadoodle still stays alive inside the site. Spyder going to work. It's all up to two players. TenZ inside the site, Relyks as well. You can't think of two other better players for Cloud9 to try to keep the dream alive. But a shock dart that gives and blows the position away from DaZeD. A kill attempted, not in favor of TenZ. And DaZeD gets the last two kills. The wall bang, and T1 will move to first strike.